It was November 4th in the year 1922 when British archaeologist Howard Carter and his workmen discovered a step leading to the tomb of King Tutankhamun in the Valley of Kings in Egypt. When Carter first arrived in Egypt in 1891, most of the ancient Egyptian tombs had been discovered, though the little-known King Tutankhamun had continued his eternity when he was 18 was still unaccounted for. After World War I, Carter began an intensive search for King Tut's tomb, finally finding steps on the burial room hidden in the debris near the entrance of the nearby tomb of King Ramses VI in the Valley of the Kings. On November 26, 1922, Carter and fellow archaeologist Lord Carnarvon entered the interior chambers of the tomb, finding them miraculously intact. Thus began a monumental excavation process in which Carter carefully explored the four-room tomb over several years, uncovering an incredible collection of several thousand objects. The most splendid architectural find was a stone sarcophagus containing 3 coffins nested within each other. Inside the final coffin, which was made out of solid gold, was the mummy of the boy king, Tutankhamun, preserved for more than 3,000 years. Most of these treasures are now housed in the Cairo Museum. On November 4th in 1924, California voters passed a measure to legalize professional boxing, a sport outlawed in the state because of safety concerns since 1914. Manly Art Returns, reads a headline in one newspaper. From 1914 to 1924, professional boxing had become a national phenomenon, spearheaded by champions such as heavyweight Jack Dempsey and lightweight Benny Leonard. Since the war, wrote the Los Angeles Daily News, boxing has reached a considerably high plane as a profession, and its champions like Dempsey and Leonard are considered first-class accounts by banks and investment agencies. The newspaper noted the federal government's sanction of the sport in its Big Army campus during World War I created a change in how the public viewed a sport thought to be barbaric. In the early 1900s, San Francisco was one of boxing's hotbeds in California. The boxing measure has safeguarded the interests of the public by licensing boxers, managers, and promoters who will at all times be under observation of the State Athletic Commission, which is invested with authority to prevent an influx of undesirables, wrote the Daily News following the election. Has had an uninterrupted run in California since the 1924 measure was passed. On November 4th in 2008, Senator Barack Obama of Illinois defeats Senator John McCain of Arizona to become the 44th U.S. president and the first African American elected to the White House. 47-year-old Democrat garnered 365 electoral votes and nearly 53% of the popular vote, while his 72-year-old Republican challenger captured 173 electoral votes and more than 45% of the popular vote. Obama's vice presidential running mate was Senator Joe Biden of Delaware, while McCain's running mate was Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska, the first female Republican ever nominated for the vice presidency. Barack Hussein Obama was born in 1961 in Hawaii to a white woman from Kansas and a black man from Kenya. He graduated from Harvard Law School and was a law professor at the University of Chicago before launching his political career in 1996 when he was elected to the Illinois State Senate. He was re-elected to that post in 1998 and in 2000. In March of 2004, he shot to national prominence by winning the U.S. Senate Democratic primary in Illinois, and that July he gained further exposure when he delivered the keynote address at the Democratic National Convention in Boston, which included his eloquent call for unity among red, Republican, and blue Democrat states. That November, Obama was elected to the U.S. Senate in a landslide. On February 10th in 2007, in Springfield, Illinois, Obama officially announced his candidacy for president. A victory in the Iowa caucuses in January of 2008 made him a viable challenger to the early frontrunner, Senator Hillary Clinton of New York, whom he outlasted in a grueling primary campaign to claim the Democratic nomination in early June of 2008. During the general election campaign, as in the primaries, Obama's team worked to build a following at the grassroots level and used what his supporters viewed as the candidate's natural charisma, unique life story, and inspiring message of hope and change to draw large crowds to his public appearances, both in the U.S. and on a campaign trip abroad. His team also worked to bring in new voters. Many of the voters were young or black because both of the demographics they believe favored Obama. They brought these people in to become involved in the election. Additionally, the campaign was notable for its unprecedented use of the internet for organizing constituents and fundraising. According to the Washington Post, 3 million donors made a total of 6.5 million donations online, adding up to more than $500 million. Of those 6.5 million donations, 6 million were in increments of $100 or less. In terms of campaign issues, Obama pledged to get the U.S. out of the war in Iraq and expand healthcare, among other promises. A crushing national financial crisis in the months leading up to the election shifted the country's focus to the economy. This was the perfect time for both Barack Obama and John McCain to show who had the best economic improvement plan for the country. On November 4th, more than 69.4 million Americans cast their vote for Obama, while some 59.9 million voters chose McCain. Obama was the first sitting U.S. senator to win the White House since JFK in 1960. I voted in this election, and of course, I voted for Barack Obama. Obama captured some traditional Republican strongholds, Virginia, Indiana, and key battleground states, Florida and Ohio, that had been won by Republicans in recent elections. Late that night, the The president-elect appeared before a huge crowd of supporters in Chicago's Grant Park and delivered a speech in which he acknowledged the historic nature of his victory, which came 143 years after the end of the American Civil War and the abolition of slavery. Quote, "If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy, tonight is your answer. It's been a long time coming, but tonight, because of what we did on this date, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America." Unquote. President Obama was elected on January 20th in 2009. On November 6th in 2012, he defeated Republican challenger Mitt Romney to win a second term in the White House. He left office in January of 2017. Historic information divulged and documented on this audio file can be verified.